Hey, this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that actually gives you full games of all the tips and schemes I post on my channel. I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Alright, so guys, want to go over part 2, part 3 of a series that I started out of the Strong Pro. This is a formation that I found a nice little money play. It is play action stop and go, and I've actually got game footage that I just recently dropped one of my games where I beat my opponent for a nice big touchdown with it. So if your opponent's not ready for it, you could definitely go ahead and blow them up for a big play. Well, that's all fine and dandy. You need to have a nice little complement to this particular play. So you have pretty good audibles. You got a halfback blast, and you also have got a play action scissors, which is really good to attack your opponent off the right side in the middle of the field. And the blast is a good run play. And also you've got doubles go, which actually provides nice little routes underneath, and you've got a nice little delayed route by the running back that falls into a nice zone. So I do want to talk about two other plays though that I like in this scheme, and it's a halfback toss motion and the fullback trail. So the halfback toss motion is bang or bust. It is a kind of a play that you want to jump into or jump out of depending on what your opponent's running. But basically what you're going to do is just going to watch the auto motion and just try to go ahead and get wide, and hopefully you get blocking by your guy right there. So probably if I would have stayed behind that lineman, maybe picked up a little bit more yards. But this is a nice little play to go ahead and throw into your scheme, force your opponent to go ahead and try to defend the outside and basically cover the outside. So what's good about it is that it is a play. Obviously you can flip it, go to the other side, see what kind of blocking you get on the other side, but it's stretching the ball wide. And if you get some pretty good blocking, you can pick up some good yards off the edge, and it's going to force your opponent to go. All right, so we're going to take a look at fullback trail as our other base play. We're going to do this against random 34 defenses. So there's going to be pressure, there's going to be coverage. I won't know what my opponent's doing. One of the things I like to do is I like to do a block and release with the running back. That just gives me a little bit guarantee that if there is any heavy pressure, the running back is going to stay in and block. Now my progression, my first read is going to be Woods to see if he gets followed by his man. If he does get followed by his man, I'm going to usually go ahead. He's going to beat his man regardless of whether it's zone or if it's man coverage. 9 out of 10 times he will beat it and he'll get the separation. Now if he doesn't get followed, that means I can still look to Woods again, or I can make a progression to Harkley, and then obviously make my progression to Watkins. So my next progression would be to Harkley and then to Watkins. The running back route is basically dead to me. The only time I look at the tight end route is on man coverage. So if Woods gets followed on man coverage, meaning that the defender that's over Woods is gone, Everett would be wide open over on the corner route, and I can pick up some pretty good yards with it. So once again, we're going to watch Woods, and he's going to be our first read, and basically just try to get that ball off. So that's one of the things that you need to take in consideration when you're not blocking six, is that you can get exposed by man blitzes. Let's see if he gets followed. He does. So we're just going to go and just hit the ball right across the middle, because he's going to have the inside leverage with the release of that route. So I'm going to go back to this route again. And what's good about this particular play is that you do got, against cover 2, you've got a huge post beater that's going to cause some big problems against your opponent. So that's how I made the progression. The guys were all playing underneath. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this in instant replay and see what my reads are. So first and foremost, this is my primary read. As you can see right here, I could have hit the ball, but this guy was just majorly biting down in this route. So my next progression was over to Harkey, the fullback, but he actually had possession. He had position on him too. So I just went up to the next route, and right here, as you can see, Watkins was wide open, and because it was a cover 2 shell, because this guy right here was in a cover 2 shell, he was in a cover 2 shell, he didn't have anybody over the middle, I was able to go ahead and hit him with a nice little rack catch and took it house. So it worked out for me as far as a good, easy progression. So once again, we're just going to go jump down, and look at this. Once again, it looks like I was able to go to get a nice little completion right over the middle right there. So we're going to come back to this again. Now, what's good about this fullback route is that you can get a fairly good results with that. So it's a really good play. It's got all the things that your opponent really has to stop. And look at this fullback route. Gets into a very unique area. So if your guy fags you up on defense, he's playing some kind of crazy coverage, you can actually go ahead and just wait for the play to develop. And because I'm blocking 6, that actually gave me some time. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I watched the crossing route. This defender followed him across. I probably could have dumped it down to him, but this defender was biting down. So my next progression was to this guy right here, but I didn't. There was basically, I chose to wait for this route to get past the defender. It felt like the defender was going to peel off eventually, and he did. As you can see right here, I was able to go and pick up a good 30 yards on that completion. So this basically, guys, this is how I'm going to go ahead. How I'm going to go ahead and run these couple plays out of the playbook. It's going to be that fullback trail, and also the pitch play. Really good plays to go and throw into your scheme. So once again, to my subscribers, I really appreciate the support. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, also the notification icon. And if you want to get these tips in advance, I pre-record these tips weeks in advance, and I roll them out one at a time to keep daily content on my video. If you want it in advance, go to my Patreon account. My Patreon members at a minimum amount, they actually get my content early in advance, so before it gets released to the general public. So once again, to my subscribers, thank you for your support, and until next time.